Hi, I just wanted to ask about how you, because I think there's a fear sometimes about doing self-initiated things because you're worried about somebody else taking your ideas as their own, because I think that's something that's much more, I don't know it's much more, but I think it's definitely an issue these days for people. I've got an example recently of a fellow colleague who's just had some work stolen from a website, and they're now producing her work, and that was something she actually put on Etsy. I mean, Etsy's a different world now to what you were talking about when you started out. So I've just wondered what advice or kind of how you deal with that really. I mean, I think you still have to take the risk, but it's sort of it's managing that risk.
I can answer that for me. If you worried about people copying you, wouldn't do it. People copy me a lot. I've got companies in other countries that are producing fabric with my designs without my permission and selling it on Etsy, and I just think it's flattering. I cannot let it get to me because it would eat you up. And my mum just think of it as flattering. Sometimes I email them and they'll take them off, and a few months later they'll sell them again. It happens all the time. You just got to think, right, I'll do something else next. How can I keep one step ahead? Unless I see they're making a huge amount of money from it, I just forget it. I'm more worried about what I'm going to do next than who's copying me. And people tell me, I've got a lot of people who follow me, and they just tell me, oh, so-and-so's copying you. Oh, did you design that toy? No, it's just like yours. Yeah, I know. Better quickly do something else next, because it happens, and it happens in the fashion world all the time. I think you just can't let it get to you. I think you have to just keep showing up and not be afraid to show your work, and don't care what people think. Just get it out there. That's my opinion.
You had lots of designers emulate
Yeah.
your work, haven't you? Surely. How do you deal with it?
Well, graphic design is a thread, or any cultural activity, and I think if you feel part of that historical thread and you recognise who you owe a debt to, and who you has influenced you, and you don't try and copy those people, you try to take things from what they've done and move them forward in a way. So, but yeah, ripping stuff off just for shallow style purposes I just feel sorry for the people that do that. But I think we're all involved in, a collective. Well, I mean, there aren't many people who find typographic design interesting. It's really bloody boring, actually. And it's usually, anyway. But I think Jane made a good point. You just try and keep everybody guessing and try and never copy yourself. If you're never copying yourself, then it doesn't matter if people are copying you. I don't know. It's try not to think about it.
Yeah, it's weird because I think like you said, everyone does it, doesn't they? Not copying, but everyone sort of finds themselves through the work of others, and they go, I like a bit of that, and I'll have a bit of that, and a bit of this, but that's shit, and I don't want that. And that's kind of how you formulate yourself to get to a point. Whether that is a style or an approach or a piece of work, I don't know. We all owe a debt to someone else. I sort of said this. I did a talk last week, and I stupidly spat out. I sort of said I don't believe in like absolute originality or absolute truth, because I don't think it exists. So I don't think absolute originality does either. There's always a debt somewhere down the line. And if you did just sort of go, there's something completely original, everyone would reject it because there's nothing to ground it on or base it on, and it's alien. And so, if someone does sort of do that with your work, what options have you got? What do you do? Lawyer up? It's like, who wants that? That's as much pain for you as it is for the person on the receiving end, and nobody wins out of that.
They can't get much pleasure out of doing that because they didn't design that. I mean, I sold some screen prints of a little dog, and someone bought one of my screen prints and then took it home, scanned it in, and she started to print her own T-shirts with my dog on. And she hadn't even altered it. It was identically my dog. And I thought, oh, it's sad, isn't it?
Perhaps some people think that's how it works, though. you
Yeah,
know.
but then again, I've done screen printing workshops, and the students come and they want to trace my designs because they haven't got their own initially. So they feel safe to do that. So they'll ask for some tracing paper and they'll say, "Can I trace that?" And they'll they'll trace it. So you can do it now, but go away and try and do your own. So it's not always a negative thing, is it?
But if you go back a few hundred years to, schools of painting and painting studios where there were apprentices and stuff, that's what they did, wasn't it? The trainee artists, before they had the beret and the palette, they had to copy a great master or something. And so...
I think you've been very generous. I think she's talking about just somebody nicking the ideas.
Oh, well.
So you send them a with sympathy card and move on.
Well, I don't have any ideas, so there is nothing to steal. That's great.